All right, everyone. I'm kind of doing this on the fly here. They've got another I'm speaking live stream. My guest is queued up in the green room, and that's Jay Watts, otherwise known as Mike Drop Barbecue, formerly known as Hubert GAZ. In fact, I'm going to bring him in now. Got the background music. There you go. And he's
What's good? What's up, my man? My man.
Yeah, Jay Watts, the 200-meter guy.
Hey, man.
Hey,
200, 100, anything quick. They had me do a couple of laps before. I had to do a quarter, but that's hard to do, man. That's
yeah, I know. I know.
The quarter is a man's race or a woman's race. That's the epitome. Yeah. That will tell you, that will make you or break you, that quarter, man. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, put some hair on your chest. Even
yeah.
Now when I ran track, I was a high jumper. Oh my, I got folk already in. San Diego Rideshare Pro, thank you for showing up. All right, already in, mic drop. Blackwall, hey there.
That's my man Steve.
Oh, that's Blackwall?
Yep, Black Wolf. Yeah, that's my man Steve right there. He's a driver out here in Phoenix too.
Okay, Cray. Hey, Cray.
What up, Cray?
Yeah,
she's out there getting it. What's up, lady?
Yeah. I was going to complete.
You got the two OGs in the mix. We got the grays going and everything.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, you got more black in yours than I got. Man, mine is white. I'm like a wizard, man. I'm a wizard.
Well, there's a guy who I ran into a couple of weeks ago, and he says, "You look like Gig Geezer. Are you?" And then so what I did was I put my phone up to me like this, and then
look at my dog. Look at him.
Gotta get in on that. Gotta get on that.
Let me get these dogs out of here. He's gonna ruin the life.
Okay.
Hey, come on, let's go.
All right. Well, I was going to complete the thought with me being a high jumper. Well, the fact of the matter is that my being a high jumper back when I competed in high school, they still, not all the places had the.
I had to trick them. I said, "Hey, let's go get a treat," and they just jumped out of here. Man, I know it. Those dogs are nuts. They always want something to eat, man. That's my life right there. They watch me work in the garage all day.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was completing a thought about track. Back in my day, well, now you probably had tartan surfaces on for the entire track when you ran. They didn't have. Go ahead.
When I first started, we had the cinder tracks. It felt like almost like soft concrete.
Yeah, kind of a little mushy, but that was like big time for us. And the only part of the cinder that we had though was like at the pits, since I was a high jumper. But it was surrounded by grass, and then the jumping area had the cinder area. Most of us, we jumped on grass or dirt. Yeah,
man, and that's hard to do because you have no true spring now. As like back in probably 91, 92, that's when they really started getting the really good surface tracks out. Mm-hmm. And some high schools we would go to would still have the old school stuff, the black cinder, and it was hard to run on. But once we started getting that springy stuff, that's when you get the good times and the good jumps right there.
Man, see, we ran on dirt. That was the other thing. So at the beginning of the track year, they ran out.
Jesse Owens.
Ralph Metcalf, who finished second to Jesse Owens. Yeah. Harrison Dillon. Yeah, them days, man. Yeah, that's right.
Man.
That's the way it was. But so I was pretty good until I tore a patella tendon. And I think I tore the patella tendon in part because of me slipping one day as I was about to take off. And it was on grass.
Yeah.
That never would have happened on the cinder surface. But anyway.
Yeah, my best friend Pip, he was a high jumper, man, up in Iowa. He was jumping 6'10". What a man, this dude, he was crazy, man. I know what it's like to clear that. I know what it's like to clear that. Man, I couldn't do it. Jumping off one leg was never my thing. I could jump off two, not one. I don't know how y'all did it, man. Then you got to get up, get your hip articulated over, and then lift your legs at the end. It's way too technical, man. High jumping is so technical.
Well, I guess you say one of those just naturals. I never really, when I got hurt, only time I got hurt was when I started listening to people.
Just do what you got to do. Yeah, just stay natural. Just do it.
I happen to have that 6 cents for getting over the bar. And that's something that you really can't teach. You really can't teach when you're clearing that bar. You know, when you're clearing a bar like that, you just have to know when to work your legs.
It's like an inverse bend. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, we got a lot of people coming in. Alicia, she's in. That's my girl. Arizona, Sly 2 Rob, Born AZ. That's my man Aaron down there.
Yeah,
oh yeah, Josh. Man. Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, Boardnaws.
Yeah, Born AZ. That's my man. Aaron, he's down here. He's down in Santan or something like that. Alicia said, my niece did hurdles. She was a fucking beast.
Yeah, I've seen people crash in hurdles too, man.
Oh, crack them shins, be bleeding, running and bleeding like man.
I'm talking about looking like they got knocked out, man. They had to carry
man, I'm telling you. Yeah, my man Josh. It's crazy. AJ Phoenix, what's up, AJ?
You had people who had that loser's gimp, and that was their way, like Fred Williamson from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He asked him to carry him out because he got burned on the play or something like that. Yeah.
Oh man.
But that's what he says now. Other people have a different story. But Fred Williamson is always stuck to that story where he supposed he got knocked out. No, he just said, "Take me out, man." I don't.
He said, "Just take me out. I'm done. These hurdles are killing me." What up, Ken? My man.
We're gonna get started with some actual conversation here. We could go on forever about track.
Man,
yeah. See, he got that tracked upper body, man.
Hey, this is from lifting transmissions off the floor up onto the bench. I'm done.
Okay, that's what it is.
See, man, but you got to make sure you take the torque converter out because that torque converter is full of fluid. Take the torque converter out first, then you can lift it. You ain't lifting with that torque converter.
Well, I'll say this much: for high jump, I was pretty good, at least for that day, in terms of body weight. I got to a point where I could clean and jerk 250 over my head.
Damn.
And bench press about 250, squat 400. In fact, I was still doing well over 300 in my 30s.
And for a high jumper, that's football numbers, man.
Yeah, and clean and jerk, I would do that in my garage and into my 40s. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey man, you strong, man. Me, I don't know. Well, I quit doing weights.
I may not look it, but in order for me to do some of these last mile opportunities, I've been able to. I surprise people. I put it like that. All right. So, Micro, I got to ask you this: what got you into rideshare? Because that's really kind of the basis for you and really our conversation. I started out in rideshare in 2016, as I've shared. But what got you started?
Well, back in 2019, one of my buddies, his name's Long, Asian guy. So he was doing rideshare. And I was living in Mesa at the time. So he was like, hey, man, and I had just bought a Jeep. I just bought that Jeep Wrangler. And he was like, and I got this big Escalade. He's like, man, you should do rideshare in that Jeep. I said, what the hell is rideshare? He said, man, Uber and Lyft, you should do that. Now, I only used Uber and Lyft like once or twice in my whole life. So I didn't really understand what it was. So I got the Jeep and I just signed up for it just like to do on the weekends. Like, well, I'll do it on the weekends or my days off. I'll see what it is. And so he just kind of just said, do it. Next thing you know, I started doing it. And that's back in 2019, early 2020, when Uber was paying really well. So
it was paying even better before then.
Yeah. So I really started doing it. I mean, I was doing, 60, 70 hours a week, $2,200 a week, $2,700 a week, 25, because nobody was driving. It was the pandemic. I was the only one out there. Oh, okay. And I got a ton of videos during the pandemic with the highways empty, downtown empty, and I'm the only one out there. Every ride I was getting was $30, $40. I mean, it was crazy.
And people were just paying you. I don't know if it was just out of their appreciation that people was that you were out there doing it, but also there was also the stimulus money. They had some money.
Yep. And a lot of bonuses. We were getting $800 bonuses for doing 70, 80 rides, man. It was crazy. So it was, and that kind of like got me linked in. I mean, if I started right now, I would have quit after 2 months. It's trash right now. If I started right now, I'd been unquit already. But when I started, it was so good. I had a 60-month loan on that Jeep, and I'm building the Jeep. I'm like doing mods and lift kits and everything else on it. I paid that Jeep off in 24 months as I was modifying the Jeep. I mean, I was putting at least, $2,000-$3,000 a month into this Jeep. Most of it was just rideshare money. I'm putting and plus the fuel I was running through. I was probably running through about $1,500 to $2,000 a month in just fuel alone.
Yeah, because you had the Jeep. Hence where you got the name Uber Jeep AZ. Got it.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
But we were
Okay.
making like, almost 10 G's a month, man. Just driving 2,500 a week, killing it.
So you understand my numbers with what I've kind of shared over the past almost 2 years with me doing delivery and transport. And you know what I'm finding is that not a lot. Well, people were making those numbers during the shutdowns, but post shutdown, those that's a different.
It was a little hard after that. They started drying up a little bit because the market got really saturated because a lot of people who had traditional jobs lost their jobs during the pandemic and it shuts down. So once they started figuring out they can make money like today, like, ooh, I can make $300 a day, it saturated the market. The market's been saturated now, I think, for about 3 years. About 3 years of saturation.
Easily that much. And I was complaining about it, believe it or not, when I was doing Rideshare, and that was as late as 2019. Can you imagine now?
Yeah. And
it says, I'm highlighting Mookie 59 only because back in my day as a sports reporter, I actually engaged in conversation with Mookie Wilson, famously of the New York Nets.
Yep.
That's right. And Mookie is from Orangeburg, South Carolina. He's a known name in South Carolina. He played 1 year at South Carolina, and anyway, but that's why I just had to highlight his name there.
Mookie.
Yeah.
People spent all the money during the COVID time. I know Josh, he said people were spending, they was getting that stimulus money every week. They were getting the stimulus money and just blowing it.
Now I guess by the stimulus standards, I did smart with my money. But I also say this: I remember people actually tipping me $50 at a time.
Oh yeah.
That was shocking. But what I did was, I applied for small business. I guess what amount to a small business SBA loan. $5,000, and I did some things to try to help with my insurance agency, and then there was a $1,000 grant that you got, EILD, whatever that was. It was a grant. You didn't have to pay it back. So I applied for that. And then in 2021, of course, there was some more free money being sent out. But then I got an email from the SBA saying, hey, you can apply for another $9,000. Well, guess what? I applied for that other $9,000 because it's a total of $10,000 grant money. So when I got the $9,000, I paid back the SBA loan and then used that. I heard people doing the exact opposite. Now they owe the SBA. I paid out my shit.
Killed it. Yeah, get it out the way quick. Always get people out your pocket so you can just sit free and clear, man. I hate having people in my pocket. Like, nah, let me do this, get this out the way. But yeah.
Now let's see. Here's what someone says. This is today they charged a rider $55. Paid me $18. So that happened to you today.
That better have been for like 2 or 3 miles, because I'm like $18, man. It better not been for no like 18, 20 miles. I'd be mad about that.
Now, back when I started 2016, I would have gotten 75% of that. So let's see, 75% of that would have been about
at least $40. Probably close to about $40.
Yeah. I'm looking at 70%. Just 70% of that would have been $38.50. So 75, about $40. Yeah, $40. Yeah. That's what I would have gotten back then. In fact, one of my early big rides was an airport to airport ride from Columbia to Atlanta. Just I ain't doing that. Yeah, I don't think I would drive 200 miles to Atlanta and get paid $180. No way.
No.
I mean,
you got to turn around and come back.
When I do delivery and transport, oh no, we're talking different numbers now. We're talking close to $500. What I would do now. Now let's see here. We got Porforio. Anybody feeling the car maintenance repairs pain lately? Well, Jay Watts is telling me about him doing a transmission coming in the background, and let's see, what did I do recently? I plugged tires and changed oils on my vehicle, my Queen's vehicle. I did a van and another vehicle for somebody. But that wasn't painful. You may be talking about the cost, but I will say this though: for all those vehicles, it cost me $175, oil and filters.
See, and I tell everybody, this is a business. Rideshare is a business. And if you're going to get involved in this, you might want to buy you a set of tools. Because if you're looking at 2,900 on car repairs, that's a lot of profits that you made in Rideshare now going somewhere else. You could have probably did all of those repairs instead of 2,900. You could have probably paid about 400 or 500 total if you'd had the right equipment for it. So you would have walked away $2,400 up. Like me, ever since I was little, like, and I tell people I love growing up broke, because when you grow up broke, it makes you resourceful. You can't call somebody because you don't have money. So when you're young and you're broke, you become an inventor. You become, you take the initiative to get things done because you don't have that lazy brain of saying, I'm just going to pay somebody. No, you got to get it done.
Yeah. And I've shared a few times as well. It's just spent $2,900 on the car repairs. I'm thinking about my front end that I did with the van. And here's a quick story about that. When I first got the van and I took it off the lot, I said something about the front end that I basically need to monitor, because it didn't sound or feel right. Well, over time, I had to replace a front wheel bearing. In fact, I had something on. I did a show on that, a video on that one. But eventually, the control arm on the left side went out. It split. And I had to pay a guy to replace that. In fact, I uploaded stuff on that. And then as a follow-up, he told me about, I needed ball joints and might as well go into the struts and all. And so all together, that was like $1,400. Him and his brother did it, saved me a lot of money. That's the only time I paid somebody doing something on my vehicle since my Pathfinder. And then I turned around back in September, early October, and I replaced, since I paid somebody because I was on the road when he did the wheel bearing, I replaced both wheel bearings myself this time, and the rotors and the front brakes.
Yeah, get that out of the way. Always do both.
Man, the van has run its best since. So I put $3,000 on my front end, but it's paying itself off now.
Oh yeah. And just peace of mind is priceless, man. Like I always work on my car even before it needs parts, because I don't have time to be down. So I'm always like, I look at how many miles I got and whether or not this part is stock or not. Then I just take off. I'm like, man, I got to take this part off. I got to do something different.
Well, it says your driver Ken. Ken, let me tell you, I used to be a sports reporter. And so when I covered Clemson back in the 1990s, Clemson played at Missouri. And I actually covered the game at Farouk Stadium. I think that's still the name of the place. So I am nobody's fan. I'm neutral. So,
see, but y'all don't realize Gig Geezer, he used to be a radio celebrity. Really, he was a radio celebrity, man.
Well,
so he's got to put some of that content. You got to put some of your old radio content on your current channel so people know who you are, man.
I am going to do that. Probably, it'll be, you know what? It may be a Christmas show. I may do a Christmas Day show and just play 15 minutes from those shows. What he's talking, Blog Talk Radio was like one of the first platforms for doing podcasts. You didn't have the video element, and so it sounded like true radio in that. And I've explained this before on my very first live stream a few weeks ago. But anyway, you had on your computer your keyboard. I mean, not your keyboard, your
like soundboard or something.
Yeah, you can call it soundboard. You had everything on your own computer. You had people calling in from everywhere, and you had a chat room. It's just that you didn't have a video element. Well, I learned early on that, I could have done topic-driven stuff, which I did. I did some topic-driven things. But I found out on that platform, entertainment was the big thing. And so I had people like Brenda Russell. I had Gerald Albright. I had Patrice Rushen. I had Lynn Toller, Judge Lynn, and Billy Davis Jr. and Marilyn McCool. Now, these are names that may not be for some of the young folk, but those are some names back then. As a politician has been known to say, big fucking deal. That was a big fucking deal, man.
Hell yeah, the BFD. Billy Davis Jr., baby. No, but see, this is the thing though. What a lot of people don't realize is that when you're doing like content, like podcasts and things like that, people like me, like when I'm working in the garage, I find the longest podcasts or streams I could find because I don't want to keep going to my phone to change it all the time. So I'm finding stuff an hour and 7 minutes long, hour and 42 minutes long, and I'll hit play. So there's a lot of people who have that ADHD and they want to listen to a lot of 3-minute videos over and over because they don't know what they're looking for. They're looking for something. Me, I'm a listener. So in my garage, I'll just hit something that's an hour, 7 minutes. I mean, I'm in my garage 6-7 hours, so I can hear 6 different podcasts, versus trying to play 800 videos. It's
now,
like, man.
Before you're talking
about exactly, Josh.
Heater care, expensive tools, diagnostic equipment, too technical for do it yourself. No, well, yes and no. Timing belt, okay. I would have to. You gotta
line up the marks on a timing belt. Don't let your cams spin and line up your marks. Once you lock your cams in place, you can't bend the valves. Always lock your cams in because they got cam locking tools. If you don't have that, use vice grips or use like a 22 millimeter, wrench. Make sure they don't spin. Lock all your because you got these little triangles. Line up all your triangles. Timing is like one of the easiest things. The tedious part is getting to the timing assembly. But once you're there, lining it up is easy. Locking in your cams so they don't spin, because if they can spin, your piston might be up. If you're not top dead center, your piston might be up. And if that valve goes down, now you just bent the valve. So you're going to have like a leak. It's going to have no compression in there. Like I said, I like doing timing assemblies because it gives me time to kind of pace myself, cruise. Like this morning, I woke up this morning, took a transmission out. People say, what do you do, man? I just wake up in the morning and just drop a transmission. It's just what it is. Take the exhaust system off, starters off, unhook everything, get the drive shafts off and all that. Just drop the transmission, take it out. And once you get the transmission out, take a break. You be like, yes, now I can take a break. Go eat something.
Water pump. Now, water pump with a lot of vehicles now, the water pump is linked to the timing chain, timing belt. Well, it's linked to the timing chain. Now, I remember back in the day, I had a 1976 Chevy Monza, and back then the water pump was at the front of the engine block, and all you had to do was get behind the belts, where the belts are. And like where your damn it, what's that? Your thermostat. But the water pump was behind the thermostat, so it was you followed your top radiator hose to the thermostat, and behind that was the water pump, and it was right there. You didn't have to worry about anything. And then if you really want to start fucking with other shit with the engine, you could probably go further. But that's what I remember where the timing chain was located.
Yeah, because on most of the GMs and stuff, it's all in the front. Because wherever your cams are, like depending on which way, if you got a sideways motor and your cams are running sideways, that means your timing chain is on the side of the engine because it has to operate the valves. Like for a V-twin engine, it has to operate both valves. Therefore, wherever you see your valves, at the end there's cams, and connected to cams, you're going to have the chain going all the way down to your crankshaft pulley, because your crankshaft pulley is like what originates all the movement of everything. So you got to find that triangle on your camshaft, on your crankshaft pulley. Your cams are probably going to be up on each side if it's a dual cam. If a single cam is just straight up, but timing chains are pretty. I do Volkswagens. People hate Volkswagens. I do Volkswagen. I'm like, dude, I'll do it.
I thought the old VWs probably was some of the most simplest engines to work with, even though it was in the back. It was the most simplest engine.
Yeah.
But now I know that we're supposed to be talking about gig stuff and all. We're talking about vehicles and all, but I will say this much, and MicDrop will say it as well. You are investing in yourself, in your business, when you're able to do most of the maintenance stuff.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. And if you happen to have the dexterity and the dexterity to work on your vehicle, you surprise you. You can surprise yourself. It's not so much as whether you have the skill set from the start, but you can actually surprise yourself by doing certain things. If there are people from my past who tell you they wouldn't think that I could walk and chew gum at the same time. My ex, whom I fired, my current queen, she says, I never would have thought that you'd be able to go up under a hood and do the things that you do.
Because they don't make men like that no more, man. Women are like shocked at men that actually work on cars and shit. It's like, wait a minute, so you could take an engine out? I'm like, yeah, I got an engine hoist in my garage. If I gotta take my engine out, I take the whole front clip of the car off, so you gotta lift the engine up that high and pull the engine straight out with the transmission connected to it. It's like pull everything out in one shot. It's like, what? I'm like, if it's a car and it could be fixed, you could do it because a car is meant to be fixed. A lot of people just don't have faith in themselves. Like, oh, I'm just gonna take it to a shop. The shop, whoever works at the shop wakes up in the morning like you do. They put their shoes on, put their pants on, they eat breakfast, they do the exact same things you do. You could probably work at that shop if you had faith in yourself. Right. Just wake up and just do it.
Yeah. Now, I would say this much. Of course, you get old like me. Yeah, your body doesn't recover as fast as like Mike Drop, who still got some years on me, but in that regard. But yeah, I mean, it can be done. Now.
Yep. Matt, you're right. Anything can be built, can be fixed. Yep.
Okay.
Because things are made to break, and things aren't made to last forever. Therefore, they're going to make anything accessible. It just might take longer to get to it than not. Yeah. Like the BMW, everything will take, like anything that's engine based. Like when I did that heat thermostat thing in the BMW, a lot of people that are even going to that video, there's BMW techs going to that video saying, technicians going, dude, we got to do one in our shop. We found this video. I'm the only one that did it because I have a 2019 that I put a lot of miles on. So mine went out. So I did the video on the heat thermostat, the transfer unit, and nobody else had to do theirs yet. Everybody's still at like 50, 60,000 miles. I'm at 115,000. So they're like, dude, he's already done it already. Mm-hmm. And that's what helps right there, when people can go online and see, even if you don't want to do it, at least see the complexity involved and be like, you know what? It's worth paying somebody to do that because I ain't doing all of that.
It says, and mechanic can just replace some parts that are worn out most of the time. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
That's true.
That's it.
Now, hey, speaking of which, we're going to try to talk a little bit about how we go about doing these things. One of the things that caught my attention about Mike Drop was just how I saw the numbers that he was earning as late as last year, where he was doing 2-3 G's a week and on. And I was still transitioning from doing gig food work to adding on last mile and brokered opportunities and cash game. But the main thing, in fact, I got to throw this out there, y'all. Mike Drop was one of the people who was actually saying, I mean, I don't patronize and all that, but I'll put it like this. Mike Drop was one of the people who was not giving me grief in the beginning. He can tell you how I got grief in the beginning on my channel when I was first uploading stuff about doing a van. There were people telling me how I should have gotten rid of my van. Oh, you're dumb for doing this. Mike Drop was like, man, see, you're doing it the right way. They don't understand, but you're doing it the right way.
I'm telling you, man. And that's the thing. Look at the bell curve. The bell curve is like little, and then it goes up, and then it goes little again. There's only a few people at the beginning and the end that are going to be different. Everybody that's doing the same thing or in the middle, they're going to all end up in the same position. Therefore, you got to say, do I want to be at this end or that end? Definitely not going to be in the middle, because the middle is where everybody is. So you say, I'm going to do what everybody's not doing and see how it turns out. And you will surprise yourself. I mean, there's not a lot of rideshare drivers out there that also do transmissions and engines and do suspension kits and all that. There's not a lot that do that. Some will just be like, oh, he's got all the stuff going. Some are just like, I'm just gonna drive and do a bunch of challenges and quests. I'm not gonna waste my time doing quests all week, working 80 hours all week, when I could say, hey, use my services to do, mechanic work. Or if somebody needs, like, I got to do a catalytic converter coming up pretty soon. I got to do a catalytic converter for a driver. I mean, that catalytic converter will pay me more for driving the whole day. And she's going to save at least about 60-70% versus taking it to a shop. So she's going to save a ton of money. I'm going to make exactly what I would make driving, probably more than what I would make driving. And I ain't even got to leave my driveway. So you gotta be more versatile. When people are versatile and you do something different, don't just keep doing the same. A lot of drivers out there, I want to keep hitting quests and getting paid and getting quests. You're getting $2 and $3 a ride. That's it. $2 and $3 a ride. No, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just do a suspension kit today. Just somebody say, hey man, I need new struts. I need new, bring it on over. I'll do it. You ain't gonna drive today? Hell no, not for these rides. Like, no, they're $2-3 more per ride. I ain't worried about them quests. It's like if somebody needs it, like I got a text this morning. Gig Geezer going through it.
Yeah.
This morning, somebody hit me up this morning. They already got me booked for New Year's Eve. And then she hit me back and says, hey, we also want to book you on the 30th. So can we book you the 30th and the 31st, both for the same event? I said, sure, no problem. She says, okay, well, what's your PayPal so I can pay your deposit and everything? So she's probably already PayPal me by now. I was in the garage. She's probably already PayPal me, but let me see. Let me check to make sure, because she probably did send me a deposit already. I don't know. Let me look through there. No, I don't see anything yet. But she's one of my PayPal information, so she can send me a deposit to lock in the 31st. So now she might go back and also be like, we're also going to do the 30th too. So you guys got to do something different. Don't sit in the middle of that bell curve and do like all of these drivers thinking, if I just put in more hours, I'll make more money. No, if you get better clients, you'll make more money. Stop putting in a ton of miles, running your car into the ground. Stop spending, 10 hours a day on the road. I can drive for one client a day, one client, and make what people make a whole day doing a whole bunch of rides. But I need to find that one client. It's not hard to do once you put yourself out there. Like I put myself out there for auto repairs and people text me and hit me up all day. Like I haven't driven for Uber. And I'm going to show you the last time I drove for Uber. Let me show you the last time I drove for Uber. And I've been doing work the whole time. I didn't drive for Uber at all this week. So it's straight zeros. Hold up. Let me calm this down. So it's straight zeros right here. So this week is straight zeros. Last week on Uber, I made $20. I made $20 last week because I don't feel that the apps are using me in a way that I'm most valuable. So I use myself in a way that I'm most valuable. I'm like, hey, if somebody needs a car repair, if you don't want to go pay, $1,300 for struts at a shop, come talk to me. You might get out the door for $500-600. You ain't got to worry about $1,300. Let me know what your problem is. And a lot of people be like, yeah, exactly.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, mic drop?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, it's just that you can't see me. I'm having serious camera issues. Boy, this is embarrassing, but this is all live,
what you can do, you probably got to hit like refresh, like hit like F5 or something like that. Hit refresh.
We'll see here.
Because I know sometimes when I'm doing a live stream on my channel, I'll hit refresh and it'll bring me back up. Like I'll go out the studio, hit refresh, then come back in, and somehow it works.
Well, in my case, what happened was now here's the truth, y'all. I am doing this from a remote location. I didn't even share this. I'm doing it from a remote location in Shreveport, Louisiana. And so I'm not doing it from the Gig Studios in Columbia, South Carolina. So I've got all my stuff with me, and I'm in a kind of I'm in a hotel room. And so I'm kind of I'm there you go.
Here it is.
I'm actually doing it from a hotel room. I got all my stuff with me. So
yeah.
If I can just get this camera to come back on, then I'll be all right.
Yeah, I think you got some dude named Mike Jones want to talk to you, whoever that is. Is he on your channel or something? I don't know a Mike Jones.
Mike, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. He trying to get on somebody's channel. I don't know who he is. He probably some no-name random motherfucker trying to get on somebody's channel.
Mike,
like,
what Mike? All right, go ahead. Type in your question, and let's see what. Go ahead and type in your question, Mike.
Exactly.
We'll go from
there. I know Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. It's like the most random motherfuckers think they can just jump on YouTube and tell somebody, yeah, let me get on your channel. Man, fuck you. Pay to get on my channel. It's like, I don't know you. These random ass people be coming up, man, get me on your channel. Let me, motherfucker, don't nobody know you. You ain't nobody. Go get on your own shit. Don't come over here.
Right. That's all right, man. Pass.
No, man, I keep it 100 with these motherfuckers, man. Y'all know how I am. Don't be no jackass on my channel and shit, or trying to call me out on some shit. I don't even know you. You a random ass nobody trying to ask me to get on some shit. Get your ass on somewhere. I keep it 100 like that. Don't do me like that.
Yeah, I try to be nice.
I try to be nice. Fuck these people sometimes, man. They just go all over YouTube, man. Don't nobody know these people. They a bunch of random motherfuckers sitting in their underwear somewhere, and they jumping on people's channel. Do this, do that. I block motherfuckers. Yeah. One dude was on my channel talking about some read my comment. If you don't read my comment, I'm gonna unsubscribe you. So I blocked his ass.
Bye. Yeah. Bye.
I blocked that motherfucker. Ain't been on my channel since that he said that comment. He has not been on my channel since. Do not play with me.
I'll do that even when it comes to some people commenting on videos.
Yeah.
It's a certain thing that I don't like. Oh, they're gone.
Yeah, for real. Man. And motherfuckers, you ain't gonna get no subs on your channel. Man, I got like 12,000 subs, and most of them don't watch my channel, but they know if they say some off the wall shit, Hey, you can disagree with me all you want. Disagree. We can disagree. But you come at me sideways, that's the last time you're going to come at me, because I don't come at nobody sideways. I don't disrespect people. You disrespect me, that's the last time you will. There is no sorry, dog. Nope. Block ban. Done. Take your ass to another YouTuber channel. I don't need you. It's like 6 billion people on YouTube. I don't need your ass around here. Don't be disrespectful like that. We got a lot of people that come here respectfully disagreeing, come here like debating and arguing stuff back and forth. We don't disrespect each other. So you disrespect me, I'll send your ass on to the next channel. I'm cool with that shit.
Block ban. See where y'all.
Yeah, for real. Be like,
I'm still
fuck up out of here.
I think the other thing that I may have to do is reset the computer and then it'll come back. But we're not going to do that.
That's
now,
fine.
yeah, I mean, y'all just ain't gonna see me because that's the only way that I think that I can get the video coming back. But
yeah,
I mentioned about the money from the standpoint. That's what I noticed from you, where you were making 2-3 G's a month. But the main thing and then what I was saying was that how you were saying you were being encouraging to me as I started out things, despite what people were saying.
yeah.
Now, what are some of the things that you felt have helped you? We talked about maintenance of vehicles. We talked about certain mindset of things, though. But what's some of the things that you feel have helped you to stay viable as you have doing rideshare? Because that's your thing.
Yeah. But really, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm about business, man, and I use rideshare as part of my business. And rideshare pretty much gets me invited. I can see the public. I can see everybody when I do rideshare. But one of the most important things, and I've always said this, one of the most important things you can ever do in life or in business is to hang around people going in the same direction you're going in, because it's more efficient like that. Because if you're constantly sitting around people who are going opposite of you, you're using a lot of energy fighting. You're going uphill. You're trying to swim upstream. Always swim downstream, especially if you're in business. If you're in business and I want to do private, like Jamil, we want to do private rides. So let's do private rides. Just like, Abby Twin, we're going to do private rides. Let's do private rides. If I'm going to be on a team with people who don't want to do private rides, but I want to do private rides, I'm going to be arguing and fighting with them all day. Don't do it, Jeff. Don't do it. They're going to constantly be against me. My YouTube channel's the same way. I'm about helping people make money. I'm happy when people making money. I love, even when they make more than me, I'm happy about that because it shows that there's an opportunity out there and people are capitalizing on it. When you get haters around you and people going opposite of you, you're going against the grain because you're keeping the wrong people in your circle. You're not going to be efficient. You ain't going to make money fast because you're so busy fighting them all the damn time. You're not putting no energy into getting done what you need to get done. You constantly fighting them all the time. So I kick motherfuckers to the curb a lot. And I don't have a problem with that because I'm 51 years old. I done kicked a lot of people to the curb and I'm better off because of it. The people around me, we're all going in the same direction. We trying to get somewhere. We trying to do something. I don't like people hanging around me just to be around me. I mean, you look at, I got 12,000 people on YouTube, about same on TikTok, my Facebook, which I've had longer than all of these channels. I have had Facebook longer. I had Facebook since 2009. I have 680 people on my Facebook, 680, because I don't fuck with nobody. And that's just me being real. Because there's a lot of people out there, they just don't want to go in the same direction of success that I'm trying to get people to go into. I don't care about haters. I don't care about hate. I don't care about, it don't make a difference. At the end of the day, can you take care of your family with the policies and the money that's sitting in front of you? Can you take care of your money? Can you take care of your family? That's what's important. And you always got to keep that in the front of your head, no matter what you do. So
what I'm gathering too is that you kind of watch who you run with. I mean, oftentimes who you run with is a reflection of you anyway. So if you're hanging around a bunch of thirsty folk, well, quite naturally, you may be thirsty as well. If you're hanging around folk that are really serious about business, you may be serious about business as well. If you're flaky, if they're flaky,
it's energy, man. It's osmosis. It's energy. It's like whatever you're around ends up bleeding and becoming into you. It's like osmosis. If you hang around winners, eventually you're going to start winning too, because winners ain't going to just keep bringing a loser around over and over. At some point, the winners are going to be like, listen, man, you got to get your shit together. We'll talk to you another time. But if they can see you trying, at least you're trying, you're going to win more than you lose. You will lose at some point, but you're going to win more than you lose because you're hanging with winners who are helping you win, helping you get money, helping you do things. But if you're hanging around a bunch of losers, all they're going to do is complain about. Even when you win, they're going to complain because they're not on your team. You get money, you get a good job, you do something. Oh man, ain't nothing. I could do that. I could, man, ain't nothing. See, that's a hater. You don't want that person around you because osmosis. You just don't want it, man.
Well, you're talking about haters, and you bring up We the 300. I know where We the 300 comes from. Well, it speaks of the accusers of the brethren, haters. You don't want to be around it. You don't want to be around it. So, are you going to be among the 300 people who actually have championship mentality, or are you going to be among the accuser of the brethren, people that you got to stay away from?
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, and that's what it is, man. And I think that's why I think I've been so successful in rideshare, because I don't hang around a lot of people when I do rideshare. It's only a small, as many drivers as I know. I know more drivers who are against how I do, because like I said, a lot of the drivers, even the ones I know, were against my channel in the beginning. Jeff, you cuss too much. Jeff, you ain't professional. Jeff, you ain't this, you ain't that. I had like 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs. Jeff, your channel ain't going nowhere. You cuss too much. You will never make it off the ground. You will never get monetized. I'm almost at 13,000 subs. I told them fuck them a long time ago. Because if you gonna do something, do it according to you. You stay you and you do you. Because if you start doing shit based on other people's potential and other people's capabilities, you're never going to see how well you can do. Don't ever let nobody tell you should do it like this. No, maybe that's what you can do because that's your capabilities. But my capabilities might exceed what you're talking about. So let me do me and see where I end up. If I end up less, then I'll do it your way, because maybe your way might be the right way, but at least let me do it my way. How many people have told me my channel wasn't going to make it nowhere? The same people that told me my channel wasn't gonna make it nowhere, I was never gonna get monetized. I was gonna get up. Look at their channels and look at mine. Just look at, I'm more than double what they got, and we all started at the same. But it's like, you have to be original. You have to do you and don't copy nobody. Your capabilities cannot be trapped based on what somebody else is doing. You can't do that.
Right. Well, I gotta explain. Daytona musical engineer. Somehow I lost my video. And so it sounds like I'm calling from heaven. That's why I lost my video. And the only way that I could actually get it back, probably with my computer, is to restart it. And I'm doing a show right now. So I'm just, it's like being a track athlete. Sometimes you lose your shoe while you're running. So what do? Are you going to stop, put it back on? You're just going to keep running.
Yep. I did the same thing, man. But see, what I did is I just went into the background and hit refresh and came back on. So I didn't really end the stream. I just went into the background because I think I had a few people on the show at the time, and I went into the background, hit refresh, and it booted my camera and my mic back up. Then I came back on stage again. See if you could do that. See if that'll work. I don't know.
Well, it says reload.
See, now I might see, because it still works. So StreamYard is still going. It's just it has to reboot your camera up. It's probably rebooting right now. Yeah, exactly, Abby, exactly. And PAX is sponsoring Mic Drop after all of that.
Is that right? That's you just came on with those guys, right?
Yep. They're gonna be out here starting, a new rideshare company next year in 2025. But the way it's going to be a lot different than what people are used to, way different than what people are used to. And that's kind of got me excited. Because like I said, you can't do the same thing and expect, a different result. They're doing something completely different than what people are doing in rideshare. So it's going to truly be a lot safer, a lot more. Like when I drive Uber and Lyft, you're kind of apprehensive. You start looking at, the ratings. You start looking at, whether or not you want to go to that area. Yeah. You get apprehensive because now we know a lot of people are using rideshare to kind of get over on people. So you get real apprehensive. With this new app, it's going to be completely transparent, very transparent, and it's going to be highly vetted. Not only are they vetting riders, they're vetting drivers. Like they're not even letting anybody just get on. They want to make sure you're on the up and up. You can handle a professional level of driving. And by professional, it don't mean you got to have a Lamborghini. It just means if you got a Camry, make sure that Camry stay clean. Make sure that Camry stay running right. You don't need an Escalade to do it. You just got to keep it 100.
Right.
So I can't wait to see what happens with this new app. Oh yeah, Slot, that's real. That's real.
Well, let's see, someone's approaching you about hearing on your live stream, Jay Watts.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful, you create a business that creates service for the general public. Yes, that's what it's all about. You basically some of the most successful things are the most simple ideas, the simplest ideas. So you find a solution. If you can find the solution, then you may have a chance with making it work. And so, now for me with delivery and transport, my solution is that I've been trying to diversify myself in such a way that I can provide some solutions that are not always app dependent. And that's a matter of getting out there among the people and identifying those solutions that need to be solved, those problems that need to be solved.
Now tell them about the delivery you're on right now, the one you just did. Tell them about that one.
Oh shit! I hadn't even put out the video yet, man. I was actually editing it. The reason why I am in Shreveport right now is because I happen to have a delivery opportunity from Charleston, South Carolina, from yesterday, delivering in Dallas today. And it paid me $2,750. I've already gotten the notification that I'll see the money tomorrow. That is my highest paying delivery opportunity ever. Now, you see a lot of folk talking about, I've been out there, I drove 1,100 miles and got $900.
Yeah, that's really what happens. At 70 cents a mile, 90 cents a mile, 50 cents a mile. I mean, if you drive 1,100 miles at 50 cents a mile, you're getting away with $550. That's what you're gonna walk away with, $550. Yeah. You walked away with almost 3 G's. That's right. Crazy. That's crazy.
So, knowing that I had Jay Watts on and all, I was determined to do this show, even though it looks like I don't have. I'm talking about the video element though, or the visual element. I was determined to do this show. I took my mixer, my flat screen, my computers, my microphone, all my stuff with me. So that's why I am in Shreveport, Louisiana right now, at least trying to commandeer this show. That's right. But the main thing is that $2,750. Yeah.
Man,
the trip itself was 1,079 miles, but I'd like to hear some other folk. I'd like to hear some other folk try to do that one. I mean, now
here's the thing: from Phoenix to Tucson, they end up. It's about 110 miles. Now, to do that, they'll pay you $78. They'll pay you $78. So if you do that 10 times, you'll drive 1,100 miles one way, but you only get paid $780. Exactly. So it's like you walking away with $2,700 that's $2,000 more than what Rideshare would even pay you for the exact same mileage.
Yeah, and in fact, Rideshare tried to cap you at $300, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
That's try to cap you
private rides. Got to do private. I mean, this is the way the industry is going, and a lot of people are scared to do it. That's cool. I know a lot of people have a hard time driving, and they're scared about other people's driving. I totally get it. So I don't advise anybody to do it. I advise you to do what you feel comfortable doing. Me, I feel comfortable doing private rides because I've been doing it since I had a car, and I'm always going to be that way. I'm not going to change this because, oh man, Uber's out, I got to stop driving. No, I'm a driver. I ride motorcycles. I do everything. So it's like, if somebody's going to pay me more money to take them in my vehicle, my car, let's go. I'm not, oh no, you got to do it on the app. I don't know. This is kind of, how much we talking about? Okay, $75. You got to go from where? Like 10 miles that way? Cool, let's go. Let's ride.
See, now that's the thing. Now, when I noticed with Mike Drop as well, see, when he sees those rides coming across the screen, he's already thinking, well, how much this is going to pay me, how much, if this is worth my while or not. And this is something I've been trying to get people to see when I talk about negotiating for brokered opportunities, or just opportunities in general. Your brain's got to be working all the time. You got to be calculating stuff. And the only way you're going to make money is that you got to think money. You got to think money.
Think money. And the thing is, when you're a business and you're an independent contractor, everybody has to realize that negotiation is our language. You're an independent contractor. When you're an employee, negotiation is not your language. You're taking whatever somebody gives you because you're an employee. As an independent contractor, negotiation has to be your second language. When you see something that don't look right, if I'm a mile away from somebody and it's a $30 ride, I'm gonna try to flip that. I'm only a mile away, so I invest 1 mile to go to this person and I negotiate with them. I use my independent contractor skills. If they say, you know what, actually my company's paying for it, I say, okay, we can do it on Square, this and that. If they still don't want to do it, I don't force it. I'm like, cool, no problem. Cancel and I drive off. But I'm not going to break my negotiation. Say, okay, you know what, I'll do it. Nope. If I say, hey, I'll do it, but it's going to be like $75 because that's a long ride. No, just leave it on the app. Okay, you'll have a driver soon. Click, I'm out. That's your power of negotiation. If they want to shut it down, call it good. But don't sell yourself short, because people buy cheap people. Uber and Lyft buy cheap drivers all the time because that's how they live. They live off of cheap drivers. When you start negotiating your contracts and you start negotiating how much you will do work for, and Uber and Lyft don't want to sit at a negotiation table and negotiate with you, shut them down. They're like, okay, cool, we ain't got to negotiate. Now they're gonna be like, okay, so you're gonna do another ride? Oh no, I'm gonna do the ride that you sent me to. You didn't want to negotiate with me, so I talk straight to the rider. I'm doing the ride for them. It's like, I tried to do it. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can pull this thing up. I'm gonna try to see if I can pull the actual kind of what you call as a receipt of the pay of this bad boy here.
Yeah.
I may not be able to do it, but I'm gonna try it just so people can see that I ain't bullshit when I do what I do.
Yeah. I'm telling you, AJ, if they late. Not my deal. Tried to help.
All right, let's see here. We're gonna no, it's actually behind. I'm gonna pull you off and see if it shows up this way real quick here. Oh, there we go.
$27.50. That's crazy. Yeah. $27.50. And like I said, we get about $780 for that, because they only pay us $78 to go 110 miles down to Tucson. We're only getting $78. So we do that 10 times. We're at $780. You're at $27.80. You just made $2,000 more for driving the exact same miles. Crazy, man. Crazy. So y'all got to do it. Thank you, Pugilistic. But y'all got to do it. This is Rideshare wasn't complicated before all of the pay cuts. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was very simple. You got paid 75 or 80% of the money. That was it.
Yep.
That was it. And then you had your surge multipliers. Now that's what people were complaining about, really getting hit. But hey, we were looking for those surge multipliers. I mean, I caught them when they were 6 and 7x. But yeah, that was back then, of course. But that's you could make money.
Yeah, because what happened was, once these apps end up going public and they have to now pay shareholders, it becomes a pyramid scheme, because that's what stocks have to be. It has to be like a Ponzi scheme or something like that. So when people get in at $10, they're not going to make money until that stock goes $10.01. Now they're making money. But if it goes $10 and it goes down to $9, everybody's losing money. So what they have to do is they have to go from $10 to $11. Now the people that bought in at 11, they have to now make $11.01. So now it goes from $11 to 15. People buy in at 15. Now it has to go to $15.01. So after a while, all the new people coming in are paying off the old investors. That's a Ponzi scheme. That's all it is. All your new money is paying off all your old money. And so at that point, drivers are going to take a hit, because where's this money coming from? It's coming from us, because they don't sell a product. They don't sell t-shirts and shit like that. They don't sell shoes. So they sell a service. We are the service they're selling. They used to pay us well to provide that service, but now they're saying, man, people are just walking away from their W-2s to do this because we're probably paying too much. A W-2 is not, competing with somebody who can go out and drive and make $2,000 in like 5 days. Just like a W-2 don't compete with that. It takes over 2 weeks to make $2,000 at a W-2. You can do that shit in like 4 or 5 days doing rideshare. So they're trying to make it comparable to a W-2 now. They want to pay you per hour. They want to pay you so much. So now you have a choice. Do I just go back to a W-2 or do I do rideshare?
Well, and that's also the selling point they try to make, because 98, 99% of the people, they're thinking as a W-2 because they are W-2s, and so they can relate to dollars per hour. Whereas you and I, we're not looking at dollars per hour. We're looking at the bottom line.
Yeah, I'll look at my bank account. I'll go through my bank account. If it's not going up and it's going down, that means my expenses are exceeding my revenues now. So I'm like, shit, my revenue's not hitting it, man. And I'm like, something's not working out. So I got to do something different. If you're only looking at, mileage and stuff like that, you're not really looking at your bank account, which is the true indicator of whether or not you're making it in like real life shit. Like all your bills and everything's coming in and out Are you sitting better this month than you were last month? If not, then this career field is taking you downhill. Same with a W-2. If you're sitting at your desk every day at a computer and your debts keep getting more and more and more, you either got to go get a second job. Instead of working 40 hours a week, you're working 60 hours a week now, or you just got to get a whole new career field, because you cannot sit there and look at your monthly bills and your bank account constantly getting closer to zero, but you're giving your life to investors who are getting richer and richer and richer. The more you work, the richer they get. It's an inverse operation. The more you work, the more wealthy you should get. So if they're not sharing the wealth, it's time to get up out that industry, do something different. Like, nah, man, I can't do this because I'm getting too close to zero. I got to get out of here. That's how I look at it.
Well, Jay Watts, we're coming up on an hour. I told you about an hour of your time.
Oh, so you do an hour. We just get warmed up. Hours are warm up to us.
Well, what we're going to do is do this again let's
do it in January or something like that. We can do this in January.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's see, January 8th. That's going to be, because Christmas is in 2 weeks. Week after that is New Year's, so you'll probably be doing your thing. And so January 8th.
Yeah, let me take a look at it, because I haven't looked at my schedule and stuff like that yet, but I'll check it out.
I'll send you an email on that. But
cool.
For whatever's worth, y'all, Jay Watts and I, we're going to do this next month for sure, hopefully. And but while I'm at it, see, Jay Watts is from an accounting background. I got to throw that out there. And I was a business minor, and so the very books that he matriculated were the very books that I fell asleep in.
He was like, "This crap, man. I'm taking a nap."
It was more than that, man. It was more like for the next 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly, man. Accounting is, I'll tell you, it's boring. But for me, accounting, it was interesting. To me, accounting is kind of like mechanic work. It's a very peaceful pace, and you just have to kind of dissect like financial statements. And sometimes you got to go trap data in another spreadsheet or on another set of books to make sense of what you're looking at in front of you. It's like investigative work, man. It's like being a detective, kind of like when I'm diagnosing a car. It's like being a detective, finding out, why does this car keep turning off in traffic? Okay, air fuel mix. Let's go air fuel spark. Let's figure out what we got. And that's how you start finding out why a car stops. And so to me, it's like investigative work. Working on cars is investigative, and fixing it. Accounting is investigative. And then you reclass everything with a journal entry to make sure everything is now fixed and everything balances out. Your balance sheet and your income statement, everything looks good. Cool. That's kind of account. It's like being a mechanic for a corporation. That's all it is. I'm just a mechanic for a corporation.
His thing is assets must equal liabilities. Get that
and
right?
owner's equity. And owner's equity, because liabilities is just what you owe, but owner's equity is all your, it's your stock stuff, and then you got your expenses and your revenue. So it's got to be assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. That's what it is.
See, that I didn't learn that one. I did not learn owner's equity, but that's what we were always told. And in fact, when you mentioned about spreadsheets and all, there was whatever was before Excel spreadsheet. That's what we had.
Lotus.
Lotus. That's it.
Yep. Lotus 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So and one of my accounting instructors, she reminded me of an elementary school teacher. Her name was Liddell Hyman, and she came in there and threw that shit up on the chalkboard, and it's like, yes, Miss Hyman.
That's funny. Yes, exactly.
And then this other guy, go ahead.
No, I was like, but that's what it is, man. Accounting, you just kind of stare at it. If you don't get it, it's gonna be like trying to read Chinese to somebody who can't read Chinese. It doesn't. Accounts have each account has a balance depending on what type of account it is. So either a debit can increase it or a credit can increase it depending on what side is on. Like a liability, a credit can increase it. So if you credit it, it's going to get bigger. It's just with a revenue account. A revenue account, if you credit it, it's going to get bigger. But if you debit cash get bigger. If you credit cash get lower. So it depends on what side of the balance sheet it sits on. Once you figure out each side of a financial statement, if it's balance sheet, income statement, owner's equity, whatever, now you can say, all right, now I know what this is, a credit balance account. So if you do a transaction with it, you need a debit balance account to offset it or to bring it down on the same side of the equation, because you got assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So, owner's equity could be zero. So it has nothing to do with revenue or expense. It could be just zero sitting over there. So therefore, you have to stick it in a liability account. So you might say, hey, I got cash here. I debited my cash and I credited my accounts payable because I owe somebody some money. So your balance sheet is your financial statement is still in balance because you debited a debit balance, you credited a credit balance. So you're like, okay, so everything's still good. Now, when you pay it off, you're going to credit cash because you're paying it off, and you're going to debit your accounts payable. So it wipes out that payable. You no longer owe those people no more. So it still balances. You never touch your revenue or your expenses. So I don't know. It just doing accounting for so long, you kind of like understand like where these accounts sit. I don't know.
Well, I get that. Now, I was also at the time that I was doing the accounting, I was also a computer science major. So I was more into your integrals and differentials at the time than anything else. But
computer science is like, that's foreign to me, man. That's foreign to me. That's Chinese right there. So when it comes to computers, I'm like, nah, I ain't messing with it.
And I was so wired up. I was wired up differently. Like the common everyday person back then, if they got the Computer for Dummies books, they kind of understood it. I could not understand the Computer for Dummy books. I had to get the big, thick ass source books.
Because you was at a higher level of cognition. Your common sense level was too high. Yep.
And so the source books is what I understood. In fact, I taught myself like HTML and Cascade Style Sheet. Some of the others, I taught my own self that. In fact, I used to do my own websites. I would do my own coding.
Before Dreamweaver and all of that stuff came out, it was just HTML. That's what it was. HTML.
Yeah. So I know I'm gonna bore people with all that stuff, but hey, an oversaturated market for rideshare would be less. Well, it could very well be, but I'm gonna stay out of that one, at least this conversation. I think Jay Watts, hey man, thanks for kind of stepping in there when shit went crazy for me.
Oh, it's all good, brother. It's all good.
I thought that this show would not be. I really didn't want this. I was hoping that this show would not be structured, that we would just feed off of each other's, as you would say, energy. And I think we did that for an hour. Because I think we have a lot. I think we have a lot we can talk about without having to be structured with certain topics and all. Although next time I probably will come in with a couple of things and just check off. That's the way I kind of do things. But y'all, hey, thanks for coming through here. I tell everyone about an hour, give or take a few minutes. So what I'm going to do, and as we head out of here, what are some of the things that's on the immediate horizon from Jay Watts?
The immediate horizon for me is actually we're in Phoenix or anywhere around the Phoenix area. We're trying to get up to 50 drivers. We would like 50 drivers to come with us we're going to a country club. We're going to have a dinner at a country club. Now, you can sign up at paxapp.io. I'll put it in the comment here, paxapp.io. Now, when you go there to register, this is just an introduction to come to meet the investors, meet other drivers like us, and we all sit down and kind of go through it. We're going to have the big dinner in January, but we're signing up everybody now to get a good head count to know how much we have to order because it's all paid for. You ain't got to pay for nothing. All you do is sign up, you come to the dinner, and you determine whether or not this might be something for you or not. That's all. It's an introduction to a new rideshare app. And these guys, like I said, they're paying for it. So it's not like they're broke and they're asking you for money. You don't have to pay a dime to sign up, nothing. You just sign in and say, hey, come down, eat dinner, meet everybody. If you say, hey, thank you guys for inviting me. I'm going to do something else with my life. Cool. That's what it is. But don't forget, when they're only going to take a finite amount of drivers. So you can't come back later like, okay, man, I'm ready to do this app. We're already capped out. We're only doing a finite because we're not going to saturate this app with too many drivers and not enough customers.
Now, and this is amid everything else now. You've got the autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, we got that big out here. Yeah.
Right. And then you've got the other one that you've advocated. Are they still around?
We got Cruise. We got Fetty. Fetty is the new big SXL. Okay. They're like the little shuttle vans, and they're driving around with tons of people. The Fetty vans and stuff like that. So pretty much we've got a lot. Rideshare is a really good industry in Phoenix because there's a lot of money here. We don't need Uber and Lyft because Uber and Lyft comes and takes money out of Phoenix and they put that shit somewhere else. We could keep all that money right here in Phoenix. We can make this a rich city. And I tell people, if you have $10 million here in Phoenix and everybody's paying $10 million for transportation, Why not keep that 10 million in Phoenix? Why are we giving 70% of that money away? Why are we giving $7 million to Uber and we're only keeping 3 million here? It makes us, we're worth 10 million. Keep the 10 million. Use the smaller apps. We've got a lot of smaller apps here that we can use to help keep that money in Phoenix. We can stay a rich city. Right now, we're being broke because Uber and Lyft come in. We have a big event. We have big concerts. They take the money right out of Phoenix. That money belongs to us. So it's like, nah, man, we need smaller apps. All small apps stand up. It's time to stand up.
All right. Well, all right. So that's your immediate thing is PAX, and that's going to be all within the next month. As I mentioned, for me, y'all, I'm not even the immediate thing for me is to keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, hey, today is a good example.
That's what I'm talking about.
Today's a good example.
Hey, you do 4 of those a month, and you good.
Yeah, be real good. The other thing that I'll share is that if folk have been checking out my content, although the YouTube algorithm has not done too well for me for the past year, I've been doing like countdown to 6 figures. Well, I topped 6 figures this week for the second consecutive
Congratulations, brother. Congrats.
Thanks.
Get it.
Yeah, and so for me, I'm thinking from an athletic terms, we got out of the rookie year, we got past the sophomore slump, so we'll see what else is going on. Because usually that second year is going to be the hardest because
it's going to make you or break you.
Yeah, you're really figuring out what's going on. First year, things may go your way, and you just kind of ride that wave. The second year, you've seen things, you kind of understand how things are going. Now, what are you going to go from here? So. I'd like to think that I'd like to think that I've proven it's not a fluke now.
It's not luck. Yep.
And if I were to brag, at least among content creators, Jay Watts is one of the few people that I know that talks the same money.
Thank you, brother. You know, we about that, man.
One of the few people that I know that talk the same money. A lot of these other folk, they do not talk that money. And I think that's probably where the disconnect for a lot of folk come. They can't wrap their brain around it because they're not there. They're not there.
Yeah.
So,
but for some people, it's about fame. They like to talk about their stats and how important they feel. But to us, it's about that bottom line. It's about that money in the driver's pocket. And there is no excuse. You got to resist poverty. There is no excuse to sit around every day talking about, well, use the app this way, use the app this way. No. At some point in time, you're going to realize the app is knowing people are like rats to cheese, and they keep setting that trap every day. At some point, you got to say, listen, I know it's a trap. It's a poverty trap. I'm not renting a car from you guys. I'm not, driving 80 rides for $90 for you guys. I'm not doing it. So what do? You got to start using your brain, stay ahead of the curve. A lot of channels out there aren't teaching you. Like Lane just said, he just did 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles for $2,700. We're not doing that long distance. They're giving us 78 miles for 100-mile rides. The only way we can get miles like that is to do private rides or really short rides that have surge and stuff like that on it. You gotta play this game right. You gotta play this game right.
I'm gonna wrap up with a couple of things here. I gotta acknowledge there. It says live and direct. That is Mr. Raymond Picard Jr. He's probably been one. He is the second vice president of the Gig Geezer crew. So I gotta acknowledge him. The other thing is that what Jay was talking about on the rideshare side, that drivers may get 70 cents out of the dollar on something like this. When it comes to brokered opportunities, I mean, hell, if you can get on a similar trip. Most people at best would probably get $1,500. Most people when they're negotiating with brokers. When I see something like that, I'm coming in at a minimum of $2,000. When this opportunity came out, it showed up at $2,100. I came in at $27, and obviously, apparently, my name was on it because
they was like, "You can have it, $2,700." Somebody tell me that to drive 1,000 miles. I'm like, let's go. Where I gotta go. Let's go. Like shit.
Yeah, I told someone, he told me about a trip that was going to Arkansas, which is for slightly less distance. I said, man, I'll be sending you screenshots from there.
Yeah, for real. And see, and you can also get rides on the way back. You can do rides as you're out there. Right. That's one thing that rideshare won't allow. It won't allow you to go to another state and pick somebody up in those states and bring them back because you cross state lines. The geofence is locked. So
unless it's Lyft, or has Lyft changed that? Uber, you can't
let you do it. Like I can't go to Vegas and drive Lyft. I don't think.
Yes, you can. I used to be able to when I was doing rideshare here in South Carolina. I could go. I could not go. I could take somebody to Charlotte on Uber, but with Lyft, I could take somebody to Charlotte and get rides in Charlotte.
I never knew that.
Or I could go down to Augusta, like during the Masters. Same thing on Lyft. See if Lyft has changed with that, but that was always the difference. I can go somewhere and make money on Lyft. Uber, you couldn't do it. You were geofenced. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because Uber, I know they geofence you for sure. You can do Uber Eats in another state. They'll say you can do Uber. Man, I'm not about to be walking through no apartment complex I don't even know in some other state. Like, nah, I'm cool on that, man. So AJ said he was in California 2 weeks ago and he tried to log in. He couldn't on Uber and Lyft. So maybe they changed it. They may have locked it up with the geofence now.
Okay, again, I'm kind of dating myself. I've done 5 rideshare rides since the year 2020. So what I'm talking about was circa 5, and all those are this year. So for almost 5 years, I ain't do any rideshare. And I mean, here's the thing: what's the trip was that? All right, I did rideshare, and then I started finding these last mile things like Amazon Flex. And I'm like, I'd rather deal with the packages and the boxes, and like when I start doing the gig food stuff, delivering French fries and hamburgers, than dealing with some petulant kid talking about, you got an aux cord? Can you let down the window?
Exactly.
Can you turn on the AC? Trying to reach over me and shit, or someone who's in a hurry.
Oh yeah, they do it, man. They be trying it.
Can you drive faster? No, I can't drive faster. You gonna pay my ticket?
Yeah, exactly. And my insurance after it go up. You got a lot coming up. Yeah, but not. And I would do Chinese food deliveries all the time. When I used to see a Chinese food delivery, grab it because there's always going to be a tip and it's always going to be, man, I don't know. When you start seeing McDonald's, I tell motherfuckers, cheap people eat cheap food. Do not do McDonald's and Burger Kings and no, because cheap people eat cheap food. When you start seeing people spend a little money on their food, you're going to probably get a good tip because they're going to be appreciative of it.
Now that's something that I can tell folk with gig food delivery work. You look at the restaurant. Yeah. That's often your clue right there. If it's a restaurant like Ruth Chris Steakhouse, then there's a chance that it's going to pay.
Josh said, "What about Jack in the Box?" Tell you what, at Jack in the Box, handicapped people eat handicapped food. Don't go to Jack in the Box. That lady in the wheelchair set me up, man. She set me up.
Oh man, see now I got to end on this. Jay Watts often talk about the short bus. I'm still looking to send you a picture of a short bus in action, man.
That's funny shit. That's funny. I'm gonna Photoshop my head in as the driver, be like, "Let's go." Tell you, Josh. Hey, I got a short bus that day. Oh yeah.
There's a short bus that comes to my neighborhood from time to time. So as soon as I see that short bus, man, I'm gonna send you that picture.
Just get it rolling by. Be like, here we go. I know it's a bunch of idiots on YouTube. Here we go. No, but that lady short bus me, man, because I swear, and that's what I tell people. Whenever you see these real short rides for like $7, $8, you're like, oh, this is just a mile, 2 miles. Don't do them. They're sucker trips, man. They're sucker trips because you're gonna get it to Circle K, and the person going, "Hey, can you do me a favor? I meant in the app to put the return and home, but can you just wait for me?" Dude, it's gonna be a 30-40 minute ordeal. Don't even do them rides. When you see something $7, nah, let somebody else fall victim of that, man, because that's how they get me every time. I'm like, oh man, a short banger, $8 for like a mile. All right, let's do it real quick. Let's do it real quick.
No,
always some extra.
Yeah. Yes, but all that glitters ain't gold.
No. Yep, that's it. Yeah. You be like, oh man, $8 for 1 mile, man. This
and
is
it ain't buying you a stairway to heaven.
Nah.
Y'all don't know what.
Because I went through hell dealing with that lady in the wheelchair, man. I was mad. I was pissed. I put up Jack in the Box and I'm big old black SUV sitting in a long line of taco grabbers. I'm like, these fucking people. I'm like, I got to get up out of here. I'm waiting on the concert to end. 45 minutes later, finally got out of that whole situation. Concert was over. I got like $14 the whole time. I was mad. Man, I was so mad. It was like, I had to just go home. I had to go home.
All right, I got to answer this question here, and then we're going to definitely get out of here. I sound like a preacher now coming in this is the third time I'm coming in. But first of all, let's do it like this. Raymond Picard said Lyft is regional in his opinion. He could drive in Orlando, where he's at in Florida, and can drive in North Carolina and Georgia. He says every state has its own rules. And then Josh is saying certain states have different rules. I can work Lyft in New Jersey. I can only work certain locations in New Jersey and on Uber. So that could be the case. So, you may be able to go up to Las Vegas and do Lyft.
Never know. I might have to try it. No, I ain't going to Vegas, man. If I go to Vegas, I'm gonna go hang out. I'm not going up there to work. I worked in that city for too much of my life. I've given that city a lot of hours of my life. I'm not working in Vegas ever again. When I go next time, I'm gonna get drunk, pick up some hookers. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you telling the truth, man.
I'm gonna do just like I'm a tourist when I go to Vegas. I've worked there for too long.
That's okay. That sounds like what Richmond, Virginia is to me, man. That's one of those places.
I'm on my landing pad like SpaceX. Exactly. I've been up.
All right.
Like, man, hookers and blow.
All right, y'all. So, all right, Jay Watts, thanks again. Thanks for making this a blast. We're gonna try to do this next month. All y'all, thanks for coming through here. Duanto is saying party time. I guess so. It's party time for y'all. For me, it's working on yet another video and trying to figure out how in the hell I lost my visual on here. But y'all, this is yet another segment of I'm Speaking. I'm Inwood Lane. The other person speaking was Jay Watts, MicDropBBQ.
That's it. My brother.
All right, well, I'm gonna end the stream, and I gotta chat with you a couple other things, man. But thanks for coming through, y'all.
Sounds good. Hey, y'all, thank you guys for jumping on the live stream. I will be doing another live this Friday with the president of PAX again, because I got some stuff to talk to you guys about. Because like I said, we're gonna slowly trickle in information about PAX. So Friday, I'll be back in January. I'll be back on with the Gig Geezer Lane once again.
Yeah. All right, y'all.